So this week we are taking you on a tour of Page Springs Cellars, owned by Eric Glomsky, and you may have seen him on the show a few times. We love having him on the show. So take a look as Corey Williams shows us around this winery, specializing in, is it Rhone-style wines?
Rhone-style wines.
Rhone-style wines.
We are back here in northern Arizona. Last week, we took some time to explain kind of the history of Arizona and the wine industry. This week, we're taking you more in-depth into one of the wineries. We're here at Page Springs Cellars in northern Arizona. I'm here with Justin Ovey, the ambassador of wine education. And Justin, what better way to start our tour of Page Springs Cellars than right here in the vineyard where we're actually with the vines? Why don't you kind of tell me what we have here?
Oh, absolutely, and that's kind of the idea, is we're going to start with the vines, and this is where wine starts, and you can't make good wine without good fruit. You know, if you have mediocre fruit, you're going to get mediocre wine, so you have to pay attention to your vines. This is a neat time to check these out, because these just leafed out. This is called bud break, and that's where the bud of the plant breaks out. The leaves come out. These have looked dead, what we call dormant, all winter long, and they're just coming to life right now. It's pretty exciting. There are 2 buds on every one of these, and that is for a very specific reason. And there's also an equal spacing to control the amount of fruit that this vine produces. So it's kind of hard to imagine, but if you can picture it, all of these, everywhere where there's a bud that's leafing out, this is going to turn into a shoot, and we're going to train it up between these wires. And this gives us a little bit of control as far as controlling the amount of sunlight.
I want to point something else out too. You can see over here there's a log that was burning from last night, and you think, so many people think of Arizona and they think, oh, it's way too hot to grow grapes there. Kind of explain to me why you have the burning log
Precisely.
there.
You think it's the desert. What do you do? Why you got a fire in the vineyard? Well, the temperature dropped recently, and that's scary. If you have green leaves on your vines and the temperature drops, you get a frost, they will literally burn right off the vines. It'll freeze them off the vines. You will literally lose your entire crop for the year. To avoid that, we built small fires all through this vineyard just to heat this place up, just to avoid that. And these are just a few of the many lengths we go to get good fruit here, to ensure that we've got a harvest.
So we've taken our walk through the vineyard. Now we're up here on the crush pad at Page Springs Cellars. And Justin, explain to me what happens to the grapes once we get to this point.
Gotcha. So we've harvested, and like I said, we hand harvest all our fruit, even on the larger blocks. Load them into these containers, and the reason they're this size is because 3/4 tons is just about as much weight as the bottom grapes can take without starting to burst. So we bring them here, and we bring them right over to the destemmer. And this contraption here just strips the stems right off, and the grapes fall into another one of these containers. And this is where you inoculate the grapes with your yeast, and you start fermentation at this point. So in a white, they're going to go into here in this press right away. But for the reds, after you've fermented it for a couple of weeks, you're gonna dump it up in here, and you're going to do first what's called a free run. If you separate your free run from your press wine, now you can use these kind of at your disposal, however you'd like. You can use the lighter wine for a specific blend, and you can just put 10% of your press wine into it to kind of beef it up, to darken it up. Or you can, go with all press wine if you want a really, really bold, big, dark, heavy wine.
Once you press the wines, what's the next stage?
So after you press, you go in the cellar.
Let's go.
This is our barrel room here. We've got 400 barrels approximately in the winery. Most of our whites are aged in totally neutral oak and or stainless steel vats. They'll never even see oak at all. And this gives them this clean, lean quality, And this acacia has Viognier in it. And Viognier is a white varietal that can have a lot of floral characteristics. So the acacia barrel is hopefully going to accentuate that floral quality of the wine itself. The numbers on the sides of the barrels are just a means of coding these, and so we can tell what wine is in which barrel. And you also might notice, I don't know if you can see it on any of these. Oh, here we go. We do have a little duct tape on this one. High-tech labeling here.
Yeah. From the cellar to the bottle, this is the important part. This is what consumers love, to actually get the wine and take it home and enjoy it. You can also enjoy it here in the tasting room. And at Page Springs, how many different bottles or types of wines do you guys have?
Right now, I believe we're pouring 18 different wines, and those are all made right here.
So for Phoenicians, the Page Springs Cellars is about an hour and a half north of the valley. If they want to come up, take a tour of the winery, they can come into the tasting room. How does the tasting room work?
We're open every day of the year, 11 to 6 most days. Friday and Saturday we're open until 9 p.m. here. Everything's walk-in. This is not by appointment by any means.
All right, so Page Springs Cellars up here just outside of Cornville down Page Springs Road. And next week we're going to visit with Sam Pillsbury, another Northern Arizona winemaker who was also a filmmaker. Sam kind of does it all. Until then, cheers.